everybody. I was sitting down last night working on this and thought to myself, I should be making this a video. What's going on at home is that I'm preparing for a craft show, but I'm doing it with my daughter who's 10, and it's a cool opportunity for us to sell things that she makes, and it's an experience she has always wanted to have. She's always like, why can't I have my own table at a craft show? We're both going to set up. I'm going to still sell things that I make. She's going to sell things that she makes. We're making things together. One of the things we're making together is beeswax wraps, beeswax food covers. And I've been thinking about these as we make them, how we're going to package them. So I've had my head swirling with bees and honeycomb patterns and beehives. And last night I sat down, and I've also been decorating, I like to decorate the handles to things. So I wanted to make, these are coffee scoops. So I made this last night, and I've been trying to decorate more handles like this because I like them. I also have all of these letter openers that I need to cover the handles on. But you got to come up with what to cover it with. So I made this honeycomb pattern, and I want to show you how I did it. I'm going to change a little bit of what I did because I want a slightly different color variation. So I'll explain to you what I have here and what I did last night, and then I'll show you what I'm doing a little differently today, but just to vary the pattern. So right here is the original slab that I worked from. What you do with this is called Mokume Gane. You can slice, that wasn't a very big slice, but you slice, and we're getting to the end, so it's not very defined. You slice and use these pieces in your project. So this particular slab is at its end. Let me get it up off the table. These are the slices that came off it. Let me see if I can get up there. So this is the original. This is what's left of that slab. You see the solid color on the back. I really like what I did here. This is layers of souffle with the black, which is called poppy seed. The yellow is canary, and the light brown is latte. The white that I used, I chose to go with Primo's Frost White Glitter. It's an accent color. And glitter is a highly controversial thing. When you put it into something you have to slice, because it does create a little drag. And it's what makes some of these, there's like scratches in there. I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's scratches where the glitter drags through the pattern. And I don't mind those. I like the texture that comes of it. And I was debating whether I would include the frostbite glitter in the second iteration, and I am, because it's glitter. And I really like how the glitter came through, just that pop. This is the finished product. There's just a little glitter in the handle, and I don't know. I like this. So I'm keeping the glitter. What I'm changing is I am going to take that latte, which is a light brown, and I feel like I'm missing something by not having that be gold. So I've mixed the latte with some gold, because this here is latte, and this is the gold that I have that I mixed it with. And this is a pretty orange gold, and this is something I want to maintain some of this muted tone that I really like in the latte. It's just creamy, and this is kind of bright. So I mixed these two together. We now have this more subtle shimmery gold. We're going to stack. I'm going to keep the same. Let me clean these out of the way. We're ready to go, but I'm going to fill you in on what this technique is. Last night, I was sitting down at 11 o'clock, and I initially was thinking, oh, I'll make a bumblebee cane to go along with this beeswax project. And that is a lot to make at 11 o'clock at night. It was just too big of a project to start. Then I thought, well, instead of a bumblebee cane, I'll make a honeycomb cane. I'll use my extruder to make it fast. I'll extrude a hexagon, stack it together, and I'll have a honeycomb cane. And when I went to get my extruder, I can't find where I put the dies to get the shapes. So that plan was out. Someone's coming to find me. Then the next thing I remembered is that I can do Mokume Gane, and I have this.
Mom, what are you making?
What?
Are you making cake? So how are you going to be a video?
Yeah, making my video.
Can you make this yellow, black, white, brown? Can you take all those?
Where were we? This is a trivet. It has this fantastic honeycomb pattern. It is a silicone trivet from Fiberware. I'm going to put the link in my description below if you're interested in making this, or if you just want a cute trivet for your kitchen. This I picked up, I don't even know how long ago, because I liked this pattern and I thought I would use it to drop liquid clay into and just make tiny hexagons that I could use to mosaic. But I'm going to show you what else I came up with last night when I thought to myself, wait a second, I have that honeycomb pattern on that trivet. I can use that. First, we have to create our stack. I'm going to cut this into a more usable rectangle because that's the stack we are making. Now I ran all of these through on a number 5 on my machine, which is not really the important part of this process, but that is the thinness. I guess probably 1/8 of an inch. I don't know. Is it 1/8 of an inch? 16th? I don't know anymore. 2 of those is, no. Forget I said anything. So we have this rectangle, and I'm going to cut all of these to a matching size. Souffle is great because it's not a very sticky clay. So it lifts up really nicely when you're making these layers if you have to move them around. At the same time, it's not a very sticky clay, so I keep moving around my own layers. So my rectangles might go wonky if I'm not careful. Here's what we're doing. This is really simple. This is probably the hardest part, is just cutting the rectangles. Okay, well maybe this isn't the hardest part. The last step, some people will probably consider the hardest part. I want this to go black, white. I want the yellow next. I'm not a Mokume Gane expert. I just do it when I need it. And last night, this was a quick project to get done. You'll see. So I made this stack. I have 4 layers here. This is my gold latte, canary, frost white glitter, and black. And I am going to secure all these together just by squeezing ever so gently. And I like to, I'm going to feed all of this through the pasta machine. So I like to kind of squeeze this right here. My pasta machine's right there. You're going to hear it crank. We're just going to run this through on that number 5 setting. And we have a much longer stripe. Get that out of the way. Now, I used to be able to eyeball this stuff, but I'm going to measure to get this cut in half. So far, I don't know if you can see how thick that stripe is right now. We are going to cut this in half and run it through the pasta machine one more time to get a thinner stripe. I'm going to measure though. I like to measure. I have this center finding ruler. I'm going to take a little bit of that edge off. I like clean edges. I think you get better results in the end if you're always cleaning up your ends, personally. So I could just measure. That's like just over 10.5 inches. So what you do with this ruler that I find fun, the only reason I use it, it's kind of fun, is it's just that looks right. So we'll cut off right here, and then I don't have to do all that much math. We'll just trim what we have. That took a lot longer than it needed to. But if I don't measure, I tend to lose, because I used to be able to eyeball it. I lost that gift. And so now when I try to eyeball it, one side will be like 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch shorter. And then that overhang you kind of look at when you're a polymer artist and you go, oh, it's all that waste. So I've started measuring. Now we have our stack, and we're going to run this through on a number 5. Okay, looks a lot the same as the last one, but now those stacks have been compressed even further. I'm going to cut a little bit of this off, and we'll show you. Can you see how much skinnier that is? This was the end I cut off of the last one. So we've gotten much skinnier there. I'm going to take this, cut it in half, stack it again. Where's my ruler? We're at 5, just under 5. This would be about where I do it. Okay. Let me cut that. I'm gonna trim this just that little bit because I just like trimming things. These will make cool scraps too for other projects when they marble through. Okay, and now we're going to stack this on top of itself, and this is ready to go. So we have this stripe. If you wanted to just slice this stripe, it would make neat patterns. Maybe I'll do that. I'm going to save some of this. I like my own idea. I'm not going to turn this whole thing into Mokume Gane. I am going to save. How much should we save? Let's say we save, I don't know, this much should be enough. That's enough stripe. So we're going to save that. And look, if I double it up on itself, it makes a fun stripe. So I can use this as an accent. Like I can add this stripe because it's the similar colors. I can add this to other things. And it's just another way to get a quick pattern that I can use as an accent when I'm finishing these projects with this cane. All right. This is the part I had to move my tile up for, because the tile doesn't really stick. That's why I like working on it, because it doesn't stick. But sometimes you need stick. So I'm going to move this down to the lower part of my work table, and I might even try to move you over a bit so you can see this a little better. This is where this comes in. If I had water or something, I might use it, but we're just going to go for it. I am going to lay this down on my stack, and I'm going to stand up and just start pushing. I'm going to push it through. Ooh, shaking the whole table. I'm going to push down, and I really want this pushed through. Let's see if it lifts off. Did I do it? Oh, I think I'm going to go a little bit more. Some of these edges. This one could go a little further. Okay. You can check it. Go back down. It's up to you. Okay, so we're going to leave it there for the sake of this video. I probably could have gone through further. Now, I'm not going to unstick it. Now, what I have here is this texture of the honeycomb, and it's really bumpy. But if I slice this, then I'm just going to have a ton of tiny pieces. That's not what I want. I'm going to now come and roll over it. Gently, gently, gently. And what this is going to do is it's going to stick all those pieces back to itself. But what we did was we dragged those lines of the hexagon through the entire stack, so that black got pulled down, and it's creating the pattern of the honeycomb inside this striped stack where we didn't have it before. So this is going to stick it all back together. So yes, I want that to be smooth again. Dun, 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 dun. While I'm doing this, Mokume Gane is something that there's so many methods to. The general concept is these stacks that you push a pattern through, and then when you slice the stack, you see the pattern but come out. And there's some really great artists that use this technique and make amazing things. I haven't used it that much, and I'm just now starting to really enjoy it. I recently started playing with it again. So now that looks flat again. Here's the fun part. We are going to take a nice, clean, new, sharp blade. Something that I don't have. But I like this one because it's got a little bend to it. So you want a little bit of curve. And you come in here, and I'm gonna pull through the clay, but I'm kind of gonna slice that way, like slide the blade. There's going to be, this is the part that people get nervous about. They're afraid they're gonna cut out too much. Sometimes you do, but you just start slicing thin slices and see what you come up with. There, it's the first slice. I can't tell what I'm doing. The zoom is throwing me off. There's the first slice. And you just keep slicing from there. We'll leave that in view a little. Well, that one was tiny. Sometimes you don't quite catch it. That's still worth keeping. And now the thinner you slice, the more you'll get out of this stack. I just am not, I'm probably not using the best blade for it. And I'm also, I don't know, not being as careful as I could be. Possibly. I want to kind of catch this middle here. I do like working with bigger pieces, so ideally, oops, see. Oh, that one feels really thick. I don't think I wanted to go that deep, but there we are. Let's come over here. That one feels nice. Trying to keep all the little slices in camera. Oh, I was about to slice with the wrong side of my blade. That would have not gone well. And do you see how having it stuck well to our tabletop makes a huge difference? If we were trying to do this on a slippery surface, that would not work well. I'm going to leave that piece folded over and just continue to drag. There we go. Oh, I kind of like that shadow, that really shallow layer. I am going to keep cutting. Let's zoom back out so we can see the whole table. Now I might not use all of these right away. I still might, but if I wanted to save them, I can just layer them with some plastic wrap. I also like to use page protectors and just lay them on top. I can save these. I probably will use them right away, but I don't want to move this stack because I'm never going to get this grip again, and I just want to finish this stack. Now that I've made it, I'm going to finish it before I go lifting anything off my table. See. I gotta get myself some new blades. This one's inconsistent. I mean, it's doing the job, but new blades are so nice. So nice. Look at that. Now I keep flipping over to use the back side of what I slice, but you could use the front side too if one's more interesting than the other. Typically you start on the back side because it's just where more stripes come through, where more pattern comes through. I wonder if I clean off my blade. That's another thing you can do. I'm going to clean my blade with some, this is just a spritz of alcohol. Now I can feel it just being sticky. It's probably something that experience will tell you. I already know this is an old blade, but this feels like it went almost too deep. Let's see what we got. It did. It went all the way through to that part. Now see, that's where the black stopped going through. I could have gone through deeper, I think. But I can still use this side. This is a really great piece to use. We'll save that over here. And let's just keep cutting. Yeah, it's getting looser. It's turning into more polka dots than hexagons. So I think I'm going to start using the top of the slices if I can get them clean. I probably would have much better luck with a fresh blade. Oh, I'll link to fresh blades down below. Maybe I'll have to get myself some. Oh, that one's cool. All right. All right. That's a lot of slices. I kind of took over my work area. Now, how do you use these slices? It's very simple. They're like stickers. I think I would like to do one of these letter opener handles. Got these at the Dollar Tree. I think it was Dollar Tree, not Dollar General. Had them for a few years. I could be wrong. Maybe it was Dollar General. The dollar store, once upon a time, many years ago, probably close to 5 years ago, I got these handles. Okay. We're going to try to do this over the work surface because I don't feel like cleaning it up. This is scrap clay I just stole from my kids' work area. It's really soft. So I'm just going to use that initially to cover this handle. And I'm going to stretch it all along and get a good grip size there. This is really variable, up to you what you decide you like. You got to decide how high up on the neck you want to go. I'm going to smooth it. This is very soft scrap that I grabbed, so it works pretty easily. And I do want it to be a pretty even shape before I start adding my layers. My layers are very thin, so whatever this shape is, it's gonna come through on the other side. I think that's pretty even and pretty smooth. I could probably fuss with this all day long, but I won't. Now, what I do know I think I want to do in terms of finishing this is I think I want to add a piece at the end that is just a solid color, and maybe we'll put some texture on there. So I'm going to start by making this gold that I used, just making a thin piece of it. And I'm going to wrap this around. It doesn't need to be perfect because I'm going to be adding others, but I want that smooth. I want it to sit on there smooth. So I'm going to kind of wrap and stretch it, and every time it starts to fold, I'm just going to kind of flatten it out. And there. Now I can just cut around it. Let's see. Peel off this extra. Save for later. This part here got away from me a little bit, but we can still just push it down, push it down, push it down. I have the gray from the scrap on my hands. I'm gonna have to do a video about how to get the clay off your hands soon. So I'm gonna just trim a little bit of this off, and we are going to smooth this out a bit. And you know what I want to do? What I think is fun? I'm going to press this solid color into my trivet and get the honeycomb pattern in the texture along with the slices we're about to add. So that I think is fun. I did kind of double over, but I don't like perfection. I think it stops me from being productive. So now this part, we are going to Actually, I'm going to add around the neck, just for a slightly more finished look. We're going to put this color up at the neck. And I'm probably not even, don't even need to go that far down. Okay. We have the color at the neck. I'm not going to texture this because this is going to get covered by a lot of what I'm doing. We have a honeycomb on the handle. And these, like I said, are applied as though you're just putting stickers on. The clay will adhere to itself. And there you go. You just start picking up the pieces and layering them. It's like a collage. There you go. The first piece, can we see that? First piece is applied. See? Pretty cool. And we'll just keep going. Just lift. Lift them up. You're going to overlap a lot. Just keep It's okay to check which side you like the best. So this one has more black there. This one is the one that I said got more polka dotty. So let's just wrap like it right there, I think. This can go fast. I think I'm thinking too hard for the camera. This part got stuck a little too early, so instead of folding it over, I'm going to just lift it with my blade so I can push it flat again. Kind of like this piece. We're going to throw this down here. So it's kind of long. Maybe we'll wrap it like this. There was too much of it, so I tore. Let's do this piece. There's no real rhyme or reason. You just pick up the ones you like, leave the ones you don't. I feel like I need a smaller piece in there. Maybe I'll use this one. I still am missing a spot there, and those look a little rough. What do I want? Which piece? This is where I start thinking too hard. Which piece do I like? Let's use this one right here. We're going to carry that over here. All right. So now we have honeycomb, and the transition between the texture to the honeycomb is something that I'm not going to smooth out, but I'm going to come back to this stacked block that I saved from earlier. Let's take a slice or two from here. Just thin slices. And I'm going to wrap this around. And oh, look at that, one slice goes all the way. And I like the rough edges on it. A little more organic, like our beeswax. Okay. And then press that in really well. And look at that. The letter opener. Maybe I'll put a little more up here. I have this tiny piece all ready to go. Does this need a stripe at the top? I don't know. That seems like overkill. Or does it? To have more stripe at the top. Maybe I'll do a little touch. A little bit right there. I'm not even going to get my blade out. I'm going to cut it there so that I can get the shape of it to form more closely. I'll come over here. Okay, I like that. There you go. It is a honeycomb handle, and we will bake this in the oven at 275